Hi everyone, greetings from Dr. Surakshit. Hope everybody are keeping in good health at this time. Today, I'll be talking on vaccination. When we should start to give vaccines? Why is vaccine necessary to be given? How does vaccines act? So what are the various schedules available to give this vaccine? Are these optional vaccines really necessary? So all about vaccination will be discussed today. So if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, do subscribe, like and share. Let us see the history of vaccine. When was this vaccine or vaccination really started? So in 1796, Edward Jenner was the person who noticed that this milkmaids who used to rear this cow, they never used to get this smallpox. That time smallpox was very dreaded disease. But he noticed that they used to get a milder form of the disease, that was cowpox. So hence he took this cowpox pus which was there in a person who was infected with cowpox virus, and he inoculated it into a boy. And after 6 weeks, he inoculated the same boy with smallpox virus. And he noticed that this boy did not get smallpox disease. So hence this smallpox vaccine was discovered and the production was started in 1798, and from there on this smallpox disease was eradicated later on. Hence this vaccine, the term which comes from vaccinia virus, means this cowpox virus, hence the term vaccine and vaccination was brought in, and this was the first time when vaccine was discovered. Now let us see what is this vaccine. Vaccine is a substance given to produce an immune response in the body so that the body fights against this disease. So this substance can be in a milder form of that virus or bacteria, or it could be an inactivated form or a synthetic form. So all this is made into a vaccine and it's given to the body so that there is an immune response in the body and that body becomes immune to that particular disease. This is what is a vaccine. Now let us see what is vaccination. So vaccination is a process in which a vaccine is given and the immune response develops against that particular disease. Now let us see what is immunization. Immunization is a process that happens in the human body when this vaccine is injected to develop an immunity against that particular disease. But this vaccination and immunization are used interchangeably. So we'll take that vaccine as an antigen which has been inactivated or in a milder form of the virus or bacteria. So once this is inoculated into the human body, so what happens immediately? So the immediate thing is that innate immunity, or the first line of defense, which is there in our body, because they recognize this as foreign antigen. Hence, they start an immune response within. So this macrophages, dendritic cells, all those gets activated, and hence they start to act. So this will be the first line of defense that starts to act, and later on they go into the lymph nodes, whichever site you like injected or inoculated this, and there the second line of defense like T lymphocytes get activated. So this T lymphocytes activates B lymphocytes also, and then the B lymphocytes will secrete immunoglobulin, and also T lymphocytes will also turn into T helper cells and also cytotoxic cells, which also kill this particular antigen, like inactivate them. And also this B lymphocytes will also form as something called as memory cells, B memory cells, and also there will be T cells which also will be memory cells. So what happens for this memory cells, what they will be doing? So next time, whenever, let us take an example of polio virus. So already we have been vaccinated against polio. Once this polio virus enters the next time, already the body has this immunity against this polio virus. Hence, the next time when this polio virus gets into the body, there will be a response so that the polio, whatever the virus has entered, it will be inactivated immediately and hence doesn't cause the disease. So this is how the vaccine works. So now let us see what are the types of vaccine. As I told you before, the vaccines can be made from the milder form of the virus or bacteria which is injected, or it could be a killed or inactivated form, or it could be an part of the virus or bacteria, subunit vaccines, or it could be from the toxins or the toxoid vaccines. So coming to the live attenuated vaccines, you can see polio virus, which is live attenuated, BCG, measles, yellow fever and rotavirus. This comes under the groups of live attenuated vaccines. So now coming to killed vaccines. So here we can get IPV, injected poliovirus vaccine, and also the whole cell component of pertussis vaccine. So now coming to a part or subunit part of it. Here comes the acellular pertussis vaccine, Haemophilus influenza vaccine, pneumococcal vaccine and hepatitis B vaccine. Now coming to the toxoid vaccine. Here we can get tetanus, that is TT, tetanus toxoid, and also diphtheria, which is also made up of toxoid. So these are the types of vaccine. We will see now the route of administration. So first comes injectables. What are the injectables? So BCG, which is given intradermal. So as you can see in this picture, it is an intradermal vaccine. So then comes subcutaneous, which we can give is JE vaccine, which is given subcutaneously, and also measles, which can be given subcutaneously. Then comes intramuscular. So the pentavalent vaccine or the hepatitis B vaccine, the IPV, for example, all these are given intramuscular. As we can see in this picture, this is an intramuscular vaccine. Now the way which we give intramuscular vaccines. And also orally, which we can give. That is the rotavirus vaccine, which we give orally, and also polio drops, which we give orally. So these are the routes of administration. So we can see in this picture the various routes. We can see here the oral, the intradermal, subcutaneous and intramuscular vaccines. Okay, now let us see the various vaccination schedule. So there is one called as National Immunization Schedule, which is followed in most of the government institutions, and then IAP schedule, which is followed in the private setup.
So let's see the National Immunization Schedule. BCG is given at birth or as early as possible, that is up to 1 year of age. So up to 1 month it is given as 0.05 ml intradermally. So after 1 month it is given as 0.1 ml to left upper arm. Then comes hepatitis B, which is a burst dose. It is also given at birth 0.5 ml intramuscular injection anterolateral aspect of the thigh. Then also oral polio is given at birth. So 2 drops. So then comes at 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 months we give oral polio, and also pentavalent, which is given. Pentavalent is given 0.5 ml intramuscularly in the anterolateral aspect of thigh. Pentavalent contains 5 components, that is diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus, and also Haemophilus influenza B and hepatitis B. So the next vaccine is pneumococcal vaccine, which is not started in all the states. It started in only few states. So it will be started in all the states in a phased manner. It is given as 2 primary doses as 6 and 14 in National Immunization Schedule, 0.5 ml intramuscular anterolateral aspect of thigh, and followed by a booster at around 9 to 12 months. So next we give is rotavirus, which is given orally at 6, 10 and 14 weeks. It can be given up to 1 year in National Immunization Schedule. Next is fractionated IPV or injectable polio vaccine, which is given at 6 and 14 weeks, that is 0.1 ml intradermally to the right upper arm. Next at 9 months we give MR vaccine in National Immunization Schedule. So it can be given up to 9 to 12 months. MR vaccine is given subcutaneously 0.5 ml to right upper arm. And also JE vaccine is started in endemic areas where Japanese encephalitis is seen. It's given between 9 to 12 months, 0.5 ml subcutaneously to left upper arm. Vitamin A is given during this time, that is at 9 months of age. The first dose is given to prevent vitamin A deficiency. It is given as 1 lakh international unit less than 1 year, that is 1 ml, and from hence on, like every 6 months, vitamin A is repeated, that is 2 ml up to 5 years of age. It is given orally. Then the first DPT booster is given at around 16 to 24 months, that is 0.5 ml intramuscularly to anterolateral aspect of the thigh. With that, MR second dose is repeated and OPV booster is given, and also JE second dose is given during this time. And also DPT booster 2 is given at around 5 to 6 years of age, that is again same 0.5 ml intramuscularly to the upper arm or thigh usually we give. And then TT or TD is given at 10 years and 16 years, that is 0.5 ml intramuscularly again to the upper arm or to thigh. Now let us see about the IAP chart or the IAP, Indian Academy of Pediatrics schedule, which is followed in the private setup. Let us see the vaccination schedule according to IAP or Indian Academy of Pediatrics. So at birth, BCG, OPV and hepatitis B as compared to national immunization schedule, it is given at birth. It is both are similar. But here we can see it can be given up to 7 days, but well given within 24 hours. At 6 weeks, we can see diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis component as pertussis whole cell and also acellular component both can be given. IPV is given here, and hepatitis B and Haemophilus influenza B, rotavirus vaccine and PCV. All this the first dose is given at 6 weeks. So we can see the various vaccines comes here in a combination, like in IAP schedule. The combination of vaccines which can be combined with all this, like diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, then Haemophilus influenza and IPV and also hepatitis B. It comes as a combination. As we see in national immunization schedule, the various components of vaccines like diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, IPV, hepatitis B, Haemophilus influenza, pneumococcal vaccine and rotavirus along with oral polio vaccine is given at 6, 10 and 14 weeks. So usually it comes as a combination. So the combination of vaccines like IPV, hepatitis B, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus and Haemophilus B influenza. So this comes as a combination. Along with that we give pneumococcal vaccine, rotavirus oral and also oral polio vaccine which is given orally. So usually IPV is given at 6, 10 and 14 weeks as it comes in a combination. But if you don't get as a combination, because we can give it as fractionated IPV vaccine as we give in government setup at 6 and 14 weeks. So if that is also not possible, then we can give one dose IM at 14 weeks. So this is the schedule which we follow. Along with that we give oral polio vaccine also. So rotavirus is usually given at 6, 10 and 14 weeks, most of the vaccine except Rotarix which is given at 6 and 10 weeks. That is only 2 doses we give. Rotavirus vaccine according to IAP schedule is started within 14 weeks 6 days and the last dose is given by 8 months. But according to national immunization schedule, the rotavirus vaccine can be given up to 1 year. So if the child receives rotavirus vaccine first dose within 1 year, then the subsequent doses can be given according to dose and will complete the schedule of rotavirus vaccine. So then we have at 6 months of age we can give influenza vaccine. I am not going to detail of the doses of it. So and again we can give typhoid conjugate vaccine at 6 months, and at 9 months we can give MMR vaccine. MMR second dose can be given at 15 months of age. So at 12 months we can give hepatitis A, that is the first dose of hepatitis A, and also at 15 months we can give along with MMR varicella first dose and also pneumococcal booster. So from 16 to 18 months we can give DPT and IPV booster 1 and also oral polio vaccine and also Haemophilus influenza booster. So and at 18 months we can give hepatitis A, that is the second dose of hepatitis A vaccine. And at 2 years of age we can give typhoid polysaccharide vaccine if you are not given conjugate typhoid vaccine. But typhoid conjugate vaccine is preferred to polysaccharide vaccine if available. At 4 to 6 years of age, DPT booster is repeated, that is a second booster. Along with it, MMR and also varicella is repeated. So we get a combination MMRV which is given at 4 to 6 years of age. So from 9 to 12 years, that is Tdap or TD is given, and it's repeated every 10 years later. And also we can give HPV, that is human papilloma virus, which also causes warts and also cervical cancers. So which can be given in girls 2 doses from 9 to 14 years of age, and from 15 years onwards 3 doses are given. So the 2 doses are given 6 months apart, and these 3 doses are given 0, 1 or 2 and 6 depending on the brands, 1 month or 2 months depending on the brand. See what are the various diseases which we get protected from by getting these vaccines. So first let us see BCG. It protects us from tuberculosis. By giving OPV and IPV, we get protected from polio. So we hardly see any cases of polio. DPT, by giving DPT, we get protected from diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus. By giving rota vaccine, we get protected from rotaviral diarrhea. By giving HIB, we get protected from the bacteria called Haemophilus influenza type B, which causes pneumonia, which can cause ear infection, which can cause septicemia or blood infection, and also meningitis. By giving hepatitis B, we get protected from hepatitis B virus, which can cause jaundice and also chronic liver diseases by infecting us. By giving PCV, we get protected from Streptococcus pneumonia, which also causes pneumonia, which causes ear infection, sinusitis, which can also cause meningitis. So we get protected from all these diseases. By giving JE vaccine, we get protected from Japanese encephalitis. By giving MMR, we get protected from mumps, measles and rubella. By giving influenza, we get protected from influenza virus. So this influenza virus can be given, it's a must, like, because the chances of getting influenza is more in children, that is up to 5 years it's compulsory if we can give. So it is given as 2 doses initially, and then every year it is given before the start of season, like 2 weeks prior to it. Then typhoid, it prevents against typhoid in endemic areas where typhoid is more prevalent. By giving varicella vaccine, it gets protected against chickenpox. Hepatitis A vaccine to get protect from hepatitis A virus, which causes again jaundice. Human papilloma virus vaccine, which protects us from cervical cancer and also warts, genital warts. And also MCV, we get protected against meningococcus that causes meningitis.
There is slight amount of difference in the schedule which we follow. So we can see that certain vaccines are not given in national immunization schedule, which we prefer to give in IAP schedule. Why is that difference? So as we can see, pneumococcal vaccine, which is not started in all the states, which is not followed in all the states, but in certain states they have started to give pneumococcal vaccine. But in IAP schedule, they say pneumococcal vaccine is given in at like 1.5 months, 2.5, 3.5 months with the penta. So then we follow an booster at 1.5 years, which we want to give. So this is how what is about the pneumococcal vaccine. So then there is other optional vaccines which we can give is about varicella. Then we have typhoid. Then if you want to give meningococcal vaccine, we can give. Then we have cholera vaccine which we want to give. Then hepatitis A vaccine, if you want to follow that, we can give. So there are various which is given in IAP schedule that is followed in private setup, and it is not still started in national immunization schedule.
Let us see what is the difference between painless and painful vaccines. So this was the concept which was there, and parents do have doubt regarding this. So let us compare these two. So what is the difference between painless and painful injection? The painless injection contains acellular component of pertussis vaccine, and the painful, whichever we say, is like it has a whole cell component of pertussis vaccine. So the major difference is not while we inject, because while we inject, babies do feel pain in both the vaccines. Only thing is the after effects of the vaccine. It will be milder in acellular component of pertussis. In the sense, the fever, redness, swelling, all those will be milder in acellular component vaccine, whichever the vaccine which contains acellular component, compared to whole cell component of the pertussis. So this is the major difference. And even the price, as we compare to wholesale component of pertussis vaccine, whatever the injections which contain acellular pertussis vaccine, the price will be more. So hence this is the two major differences which we can see comparing to painless and painful injections.
Why is this difference in the National Immunization Schedule and IAP schedule? So in National Immunization Schedule, it curtails to a large population. So they see what are the disease which is of utmost important, and by giving that vaccine, what are the repercussions of it. So how it can prevent the disease altogether, which is the major disease of concern. So all those vaccines are given in National Immunization Schedule. But in IAP, we try to cover up most of the disease where the vaccine is available and which can be given. So this is how there is a difference in both National Immunization and IAP schedule. So as we can see, initially when they started National Immunization Schedule, the vaccines were, all these newer vaccines were not available. First they used to give DPT, which was there. Later it was changed to pentavalent. So they added pentavalent, where we can give even Haemophilus influenza, which was previously given in IAP schedule. Now it is added into National Immunization Schedule. Rotavirus vaccine, which was not available previously in National Immunization Schedule, it was added to National Immunization Schedule recently. IPV, which was not present previously in National Immunization Schedule, was again added. So this is how. So slowly there is a shift. So whatever was given in the private sector has been slowly incorporated into National Immunization Schedule. But that's what, because of the monetary concerns and so many other things, we cannot add all the vaccines which are available immediately into National Immunization Schedule. So it will be taken, or in a phased manner, it will be brought in into National Immunization Schedule. So both, whatever the vaccines are given, both in National Immunization Schedule and in IAP schedule, is necessary, because it prevents against a particular disease. So whatever we see, like varicella, which is given in IAP schedule but is not there in National Immunization Schedule, the child will be prevented. Most of the times child will not get varicella if you immunize the child with varicella vaccine, or if the child gets also, it will be in the milder form, as we cannot say 100% sure that once we give a vaccine it will be prevent that disease for sure. We cannot say that, because the efficacy of the vaccine also comes into play there. So hence, but it prevents most of the time, around 70 to 80% of the time, whatever the vaccines you take, it prevents the disease. So hence, by giving that vaccine, the child will be immunized against the disease. Hence, we will not see the suffering, whatever the child. If the child gets, you see, chicken pox, how much will be the suffering, the pain, and the cost of it. Sometimes it might even cause complications of chicken pox or varicella. So that is how this, once you give this vaccine, it prevents all those. So it is good to give all the vaccines which is available, but later the affordability issues comes into play there. But whoever are affordable, who can provide their children with vaccines, all the optional vaccines should be given. What are the diseases which have been eliminated by giving this vaccine? As we all know, smallpox, which has been eradicated globally from May 8, 1980. Then India was declared polio free from 2014 onwards. Maternal and neonatal tetanus, which has also been eradicated in India from 2015 onwards, because there was no case. These are all which we all know, the common diseases which has been eradicated by giving vaccines. Hence, giving vaccines becomes necessary to eradicate all the dreaded diseases. Vaccinate your children to keep your children safe and to build a healthy nation. So let's join hands and vaccinate our children and keep them safe. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe, like and share. Thank you for watching.